Good afternoon, everybody. For those people who don't know what day it is, it's Wednesday afternoon. And I just want to talk to you about what I talked with my Zoom class on Sunday with Unity on the Bay, online, obviously, about, I think, lesson 188, where it said, those who seek the light are merely covering their eyes. The light is in you now. And I put in the description here that the light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion, but the tunnel is. Let me repeat this again. The light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. The tunnel is. And this is very important to understand what we are referring to here. The light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. The light is here right now, okay? It is the tunnel that is the illusion. And when I say the tunnel, I'm referring to the darkness or the shadow, the unconscious, which is making it conscious now. And, I remembered that statement from Dr. Carl Jung that says one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but making the darkness conscious, making the unconscious conscious. And folks, everybody knows right now that that shadow, that darkness is right in our face right now. It's right in our face right now. And so it's our responsibility to bring the subconscious conscious, to make the darkness conscious, okay? So what do we have to do? We have to listen to the hallucinations and the illusions that we play and dance with nearly every day, okay? So, as I said, the tunnel is itself the illusion. So what are the illusions that we are playing with from time to time? Well, the first one that we are playing with almost every day is fear, okay? The acronym is false evidence appearing real, okay? You say, Kevin, how do I know if I'm experiencing fear? Well, you know that you are experiencing fear because you feel it, right? But how does this fear arise in your field of awareness? First of all, it's because you believe that you're alone, okay? And you're not alone, okay? Many people think that they're in a prison system at home, in quarantine, if you will. You're not in a prison, okay? You are in a room, okay? And what you bring to that room is up to you. Your interpretation, your perceptions, your mindset, and so forth is pivotal in understanding what is really happening in time and space and in this world. So we want to experience ourselves with a light that lives within each one of us. The indwelling spirit of love, the indwelling spirit of light, the indwelling spirit of peace that abides in us right now. Okay, so the first illusion that we were referring to is fear. So what produces this fear? So I said this last week with you, and I'm going to say it again right now. If you or I are fostering or feeding guilt in our minds right now, we will see our past full of shame, or what you call sin, and we'll see our future full of fear, okay? So we have to uproot the guilt that we feel from time to time, and when we uproot that guilt, then the fear begins to dissipate, and the sense of shame, or what you call sin, disappears as well. Okay? You are truly living and moving in the present moment. Okay? So, how do we do this? We do this in three ways, really, to bring the light that is already here, to allow it to shine in our beingness, our consciousness, if you will. And by the way, I want to say one more thing. If we allow to feed the fears, it will literally bring down our immune system. It just does. I listened to a doctor yesterday explaining this to me. And so we want to uproot this whole freaking thing, right? We do it though. We feed this fear, we feed the guilt by activating the past. You say, what do you mean by activating the past? Specifically, what I'm referring to is keeping a grudge, keeping a grievance against somebody else, or even more importantly, a grudge or a grievance against yourself. Okay? You know, I talked to a friend yesterday who just recognized that what was really happening in his mind as we were on the phone in Kansas City, that the grudge that he had was not for other people. The grudge that he was having is a grudge against himself. When he recognized that, then he began a process of forgiving this self-image, right? I do this all the day, all the time with me. Forgiving this self-image called Kevin Rice, okay? Forgiving his ups, his downs, his quirks, and so forth, okay? So when we activate the past through grudges and grievances, we are closing our eyes to the light. We just are, okay? So if you got somebody that you have a grudge against or yourself, it's time to let it go. The past is over. And with its passing, the drive for vengeance and attack disappears. This is how it works. Okay, the second thing is, if we are overly organizing the present as we wish, this means we're using our egoic mind to keep control of what we know we cannot control. You know, the past is over. It's over. This is why I say to my students in Miami and West Palm Beach and online, you know, accept all things as they are. Because if you're not accepting all things as they are, you're at war with yourself immediately and you're not experiencing the peace of God. Look, what you're looking at is already over and done with. You can't change this, but you can change your tomorrows by changing your mind today. Okay? So, yes, we have to plan from time to time, but we do it in concert with our indwelling spirit of love, our source, our mighty companions that surrounds us all the time. And then thirdly, I said this previously, when we overly plan for the future, overly organize the present moment, when we activate the past through grievances and grudges, we again close our eyes to the light. But we are better than that. So I got a few recommendations for you, okay? Number one, become introspective. Become introspective, okay? I'll give you an example here. I've been with my spouse here for the last 3 weeks, almost every day, okay? And there's a temptation to want to attack him, to judge him, and so forth. And you know this. This is probably happening in your families, at your home too. But using an introspective modality, I can look and see at my own mindset and acknowledging that what I'm really doing is projecting my own unconscious guilt to him. He's the problem, not me. So becoming introspective allows me to say, whoa, stop, Kevin. Turn this around. Have you been difficult? Have you been a stubborn person? Blah, 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 blah. And the answer is always yes. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm not reacting to him. I'm reacting to my interpretation of him. When I ask my higher source to see this event, this episode differently, then I begin to neutralize the whole thing. I remove the charge that I am experiencing with him from time to time. The same is true with you. and your friends, your family, your spouses, and so forth. So in other words, act, but don't react. Okay? Act from a place and being informed by love, compassion, sympathy. Then your experience in the world will change accordingly. Okay? Accepting all things as they are. Okay? You say, Kevin, I don't want to accept what is. I object to what has already happened in time and space. Well, you will continue to perpetuate this dynamic in your mind. Okay? And the question that we really have for all of us here is, am I at peace right now? Is the light within me is shining? Or have I closed my eyes to the light? Okay? Or am I on a battlefield? Okay? I know I'm on a battlefield with my spouse, for instance, when I'm reminded of the first law of chaos, the first law of the ego, and of course the Miracles, which says, I have a set of interpretations and perceptions here in my mindset, and he has a set of perceptions and interpretations over there. It's different, but here's the rub. My perceptions and interpretations is better than Aaron's. Ouch. When I do that, if I take that one step into the descent toward hell, I'm immediately on a battlefield against myself. My friends, we are better than this. We want to keep our wits about ourselves. We want to keep our marbles in where it needs to be. We don't want to project our own unconscious guilt to other people. Okay? That is the illusion. I'm going to repeat what I said at the very beginning. The light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. Okay? The tunnel is. Your fears is the illusion. Your feeding your guilt and your mindset is the hallucination, the illusion. When I hold a grudge or a grievance, that is the hallucination. All of those things cloud the light that lives within you. It hides the love, that indwelling spirit of love that lives within you and everybody else in this world, okay? So, that's my message for you this afternoon. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, okay? Basking into the love and the light of God that abides in you right now. And if no one has told you today that they love you, allow me to be the first. I love you so much, and you are pure light.